all the way back in May. I'm so glad to be back again. But the thing is I never thought I would be involved in politics. I grew up with two alcoholic parents, and my life was kind of started with a rough start. I never thought that I would really amount to much, if I'm being totally honest with you. But I knew from a very early age what I wanted to do with my life, which is kind of a contradiction. With two alcoholic parents, I grew up with a phrase called Anonymous, which is to be of service. And that's how I decided to live my life. What that phrase means for those of you who don't know, means that you only have as much value in the world as what you can put out, as what kindness you can put out to the world, what goodness you can do for others. So while I was growing up, I didn't really know for sure what my future had in store for me, or even if it would be a successful one, but I knew that that would be my guiding star. And when I graduated college, when I graduated high school, I knew that I wanted to follow that star. And that led me to becoming a nurse. And I love being a nurse. Being a nurse is the best job that you could ever possibly imagine. I get to see people at their worst and help them feel better. And that is more fulfilling than you could ever imagine. But then 6 months before me and my husband got married, Roe v. Wade was overturned. Now, up until then, I had always been guided by two principles: that I wanted to be of service, and I wanted to be a mom. With the overturning of Roe v. Wade, I saw that slip out of my hands. Because I knew from a very young age that I was going to need the help of science in order to have a family. And we began having really serious conversations in our house of these rights that I was told was always going to exist to protect me don't exist anymore. Maybe rights aren't as concrete as we thought they were. So when Project 2025 was announced, I took it very seriously. When our rights were being written out before us, that they were going to be rolled back and taken away from us, I took that as truth. And I decided that I was going to run for office. Much like many of you, I stepped into the ballot booth in 2024 and looked up and down and had no one to cast my ballot for. Here I was, as the very non-politically engaged person. I knew about Project 2025. I felt like the Democratic leadership that was supposed to represent me, was supposed to be my safeguard, was not there to provide that reassurance. So I knew that I was running for office, and then the big bill passed. All right, it has to be a federal seat, and it has to be for Congress. So what do I offer to this seat? I offer strategy. I spent my months and time in between deciding I was running for office, looking to where I could use my degree, my medical background, my knowledge to the best of my advantage to do the most good. And when healthcare is falling apart like it is right now, that's where I have to be. So my platform is incredibly simple because there are 3 priorities that I have right now. That first one is to protect our rights. Because I have less rights now at the age of 36 than I did when I was born. We need to protect things like the right to unionize, the right to bodily autonomy, the right to vote. All of these were things that I was promised were going to exist forever, and that seems to be slipping away from us. So we need to codify them into protections so that they can no longer be used as a political bargaining chip. The second part is healthcare and science. Because we have measles and polio in our country. We have an outbreak of cyclosporia that is devastating our communities, and we have 52 hospitals at risk for closing in our state in the next 2 years if we do not do something. Healthcare and science means more than just keeping hospitals open. It's ensuring the livelihood of us as citizens for generations to come. So not only keeping these hospitals open, but keeping them functioning so that people have a place to go. Because it does not matter if you have insurance, if you take 3 hours in one direction to drive to a hospital. And there are places in our district right now that rely on emergency medevac services like it was a Netflix subscription in order to protect their families and make sure their families can get emergency care on time. That's unacceptable. And the third part is affordability. Because Donald Trump thinks that that's a joke, or slur, but it is not. Affordability is the difference between someone being able to pay for their medications. Affordability is the difference between someone being able to feed their child. And affordability is the difference between being able to keep on your AC when it's 108 degrees outside and you have senior citizens and small children in the homes. That is what affordability means. It means real life consequences and life and death, and it is not something to be played with. I am running for Congress, which is something that I never thought I would do. My nursing career has taken me all over the country, and I have worked in some of the most tense environments. I've worked in psychiatric units, I've worked in hospitals, I've worked in prisons, and I worked in New York City during COVID. So when I tell you that I have been to places where there is high stress, where there's tense emotions, and where there's work to be done, I hope that you believe me. I am not running to be a politician. I am running to be a representative. Because this state has had plenty of politicians, but we haven't had a damn representative in a long time. So, how can you get involved? Please donate your time, donate your energy, donate your money if you're possible, if you are able to. This is our moment. We need to seize it. We need to get out, we need to get engaged, and we need to bring others in with us. So I'm asking for your vote again, one more time, on November 3rd, and for you to allow me to be of service one more time. Thank you so much. I will start here.
Okay. I think we've talked about this before, but without the possibility of science, our son wouldn't be possible. But I also want to commend you for being a nurse and surviving COVID, because essentially you had to survive COVID, especially working in New York, where it was probably the most awful place to work. So I just want to commend you and thank you for your service as being a nurse. It's very honorable, and I'm so glad that we got somebody like you running for Congress.
Right. I know what district you're running for, but could you tell who you're running against and why he needs to go? Because a lot of people don't know who you're running against.
So I am running in Congressional District 1, which for those of you who may not know, and for those of you whoever is online currently, is a district run by one Mr. Robert Adderholt. That is the correct response. Oh gosh. Because this gentleman has had this seat for 30 years. 30 years. When he initially ran, he ran on congressional term limits. And he's had this seat for 30 years. 30 years is enough time to make generational change, not only to keep these hospitals open, but we should have had new ones built by now. 30 years is enough time to make generational change where we should have had an increase in the cost of living, in the livable wage in this district as opposed to the cost of living. This gentleman needs to go. All right, I know y'all ain't shy. I've been here before, don't play. Come on, Christian.
Actually, this isn't a question, but for our online viewers, tell them about what Bob did to the DeKalb County sock factories. I think the folks need to know.
For folks who don't know, we used to have a huge manufacturing industry in DeKalb County. That is one of the 13 counties here in this district that no longer exists. As a matter of fact, one of the biggest issues that we're having in this district currently is the loss of manufacturing jobs. We have lost over 800 jobs in just the last year. 800 jobs, just this district, that's not including anywhere else in the state. That tells you what sort of the situation we're looking at economically. And when we talk about keeping hospitals open, we also have to consider the fact that that is also the largest employer for most counties. So when we keep hospitals open, we not only keep the lifeblood as in physically keep people alive, but we keep economically alive as well. It is a huge difference for our small towns, and it's absolutely what's keeping a lot of them going. And if it doesn't, we'll have some problems.
Yeah, I know you heard from me already. Two things, which most of us know your stance on data centers because I shared your article the other day on our page, but I want you to talk about that. But also point out, Adderholt does not live here, and he has not lived here in 30 years. His kids graduated in Virginia.
That is correct. So Robert Adderholt lives in Virginia. He has a home there. And if you go on his personal website, that means his government official website, it says that if you are living in North Alabama, that's wonderful. But you might also want to consider Virginia because it's quite lovely as well. I'm sorry, sir. Where do you represent? Gentleman needs to go. And as far as AI data centers go, meeting with constituents all throughout the district, no one wants an AI data center in their backyard. And what it comes down to is that already 35% of Americans live within 6 miles of a data center. That's wild. And you know how? It's because small bureaucratic paperwork between all the municipalities and all the state officials, all the way up. And there's no stop arms. There's no guardrails. That's the reason why this keeps happening. So we need to institute federal guardrails. As new technology emerges, that's part of the deal of Congress, is to regulate these technologies. So doing things like creating a buffer zone between residencies and these AI data centers of at least 6 miles, doing a moratorium on them for several years. And I'd love to see some sort of ballot initiative to give communities a voice as to whether or not these are going to be instituted in their backyards.
Again, I'm all about obstacles. What obstacles do you see? This guy's been winning for 30 years. What's different? What are you gonna do different that's gonna help you change the trajectory? So, this guy's been winning. The people that are behind him are gonna make sure he's gonna win again.
Yes and no. So, there are 2 responses when you ask people how they feel about their congressman in this district. Who is he? And I can't stand him. So, what becomes the deal is that we have to make people aware of who he actually is and to not just continually do a down ballot vote, because that's where he's racking in votes. No one's going out of their way to check a mark next to this man. So, what I need is I need your help. I need y'all's help. There is a nurse running for Congress. She is running for something different. She is running to keep hospitals open, to make our lives more affordable. And if this gentleman was gonna do it, he done had 30 years to do it. That's what the message is, and that's what we need to tell people. Because I'm going into these places and I'm having one-on-one conversations with folks, and I can't have a one-on-one conversation with everyone. I desperately need y'all's help to get this message out here, and people are receptive. These campaigns, y'all. I had no idea. I really didn't. But it is expensive. But for campaigns like mine that are not relying on corporate donors, we absolutely depend on small dollar donations, and we're really good at stretching it. So please consider making a donation. Please consider getting signed up for volunteering. And thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.